bandslikezappa.com, which is a music discovery podcast and blog, and now a video cast. On the site, I feature interviews with up-and-coming artists who are working in the tradition of the great guitar god and composer Frank Zappa. So if you like that guy as I do, chances are you're going to like the artists I feature. Hi, this is Ben Sommer with bandslikezappa.com. I'm here talking to Dave Nelson, who is a trombonist and a composer from the New York area. Did I get that right, Dave?
That's right. I live in Brooklyn.
Cool. So, Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your music, and your and also your kind of life outside of your own compositional world? Seems like you got an interesting day job as well.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm from Georgia originally. Grew up in South Georgia. Went to school down there in Athens, University of Georgia. Over time, made my way here to New York. Did 1 year of school at Manhattan School of Music and met a lot of great people and studied with a lot of great people there. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get plugged into the scene as a trombone player, freelance scene. So I've done a lot of cool work here. And here I am. I guess that's about it. And I've just started writing music and recording music and having a blast.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh, cool. So did you go to school and then just drop out and start doing your own thing, being a session musician, writing your music, or is that basically how it went?
Oh, at Manhattan School?
Yeah.
No, it's a 1 year program. They call it a professional studies. It's basically just a way to, I used it as a way to come to New York and just sort of meet people, you know? Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it's just so difficult to move here, you know, fresh, not knowing anyone. And so it obviously worked. I was able to meet some key people that plugged me in.
Yeah. So when did you start? People growing up with a with an instrument like yours, the trombone. Usually, it's a lifelong thing. They started early. I presume you did as well. When did you start writing music, getting interested in composing?
Well, I started playing trombone when I was 10. And I guess I was lucky that both of my parents were musical people. In fact, my dad was the music teacher in the small town that I grew up. He taught band from grades 5 through 12. So it was just sort of in the house, you know, so sort of grew up around it. And I did lots of transcriptions of things when I was a teenager, various arrangements and so forth. And then started writing little pieces here and there, I guess, when I was around 18 or 20. And then after college, I got this job at a production company very randomly. I don't know how it worked out, but it was in Atlanta, Georgia. And I just, it was for a production company, and they did videos for like corporate industrial films and corporate productions and things. And so I sort of cut my teeth there doing a little background music for those videos, for those films. Learn how to use the software and hardware and everything. And then from there, I just, you know, started doing my own creative projects.
So you never studied it formally?
No, I've never studied composition formally.
No, you don't really need to if you got the notation chops and the knowledge of theory, which you probably have to have in some measure to be a successful performer, right?
Yeah, I guess they say sometimes school gets in the way of your education.
Don't I know it?
But I don't know.
So why the trombone? It's such a well. I guess you're 10. You're looking for something that's not the dorkiest instrument. You all right there?
It might be the dorkiest instrument. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I really wanted to play trumpet, but my dad, being the band director, he had so many people already playing trumpet. He didn't have any trombone players, so he somehow persuaded me to play trombone. That's sort of how it happened. But I mean, I like it. I liked it at the time also. It's a really cool instrument. I like it because I think back then I liked it because you could emulate electric guitar licks, like with the bends and slides and everything. And he was a guitar player. He always played in rock bands. So I kind of sort of grew up around that. You know, lots of blues being played in the house and so forth.
Yeah, cool. So tell me about the music. You contacted me cold, which is unusual. I'm usually searching out and trolling for talent, unsigned and indie talent to feature on the site. But you found me and pitched yourself accurately, I think, as kind of a prog fusion, prog rock type sound. What kind of music turns you on and inspires you when you're writing it anyway?
When I'm writing, well, I mean, Zappa was just such a huge influence, I think, to this day. I mean, I went through so many phases where it was almost all I listened to, and I wouldn't say that's true now, but it's still very much a part of the way I think about music. So it's sort of always going to be there. But other than that, I'm really open to almost anything. I listen to a wide range of things: classical music, lots of minimalist music I like.
Yeah, I can hear that in some of your tunes for sure.
Yeah, Michael Gordon type, stuff really like that.
Yeah. But how come no? It's still all instrumental. You ever going to pick a theme and lay down some a vocal statement, or even or don't pick a theme and do a wordless a la Steve Reich or Phil Glass type vocals?
Right, yeah, I've thought about that. I have some tunes I'm working on now with vocals, but I'm just not confident in my own voice to do it, so I'd have to bring in other people. Fortunately, my brother is a very good singer, and so we're actually collaborating on a project right now, which is a lot of fun. I'm writing the tunes and he's singing it, so that's fun. But as for this project, I sort of, with my experience in the New York classical chamber music scene, I've just been exposed to so many great composers and interesting new music being written constantly. And I guess that, coupled with the 70s Zappa rock type influence, sort of those two things converged and sort of grew into logistic minutia. So the goal was to write sort of little minimalist chamber pieces for a rock band.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the goal on the head. So do you produce any of this as well? Like, it sounds like you got the chops to record and mix and stuff. Is that true?
I produced it all. Mixed it with a friend of mine, the drummer actually on the session, Marlon Patton, a great drummer and producer down in Atlanta. But I produced everything and recorded most of it in my apartment here in Brooklyn.
That's the way to do it these days.
Well, he did the drums down in Atlanta and sent me the files. So it's kind of a 21st century project.
No kidding. So is everything through composed, all written out on paper?
Yes, it was.
Is it lead sheet, kind of like a guideline, or you got every start to finish, you got everything mapped out? Yeah,
it's pretty well scored from start to finish. A couple of tracks, he took liberties and laid down his own drum tracks, like on the first tune, Sequence. That was all him. But otherwise, I wrote everything, even the drum parts. So.
You and I both. Well, I mean, your stuff. Well, some of my stuff gets kind of rhythmically and harmonically weird, like your stuff. But even when I'm doing a straight up rock tune or punk tune, there's usually a twist enough that I at least have a lead sheet.
Right.
I guess we're real songwriters, huh?
I guess, or we don't know when to quit and just let them do it. But
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, what do you have any gigs? Is this a recent release? Do you have any gigs promoting it or anything you want to plug?
Not at the moment. Unfortunately, I released this EP back in the fall, and I was really busy. I was on the road touring with the band, and the other guys that recorded it. Everyone's schedule it didn't work out to get any shows around that time, which was unfortunate. But hopefully this spring, some things will come through.
Cool.
And I'll keep you posted.
Yeah. One last thing though, I'm looking at your discography. You played with some of my one of my heroes, John Adams. That the John Adams? or is that a
Yeah,
different?
the classical composer John Adams.
That's pretty cool. Were you just part of a chamber group then?
Yeah, it's part of a chamber group called the International Contemporary Ensemble, a really fantastic group here in Brooklyn, New York. They go by the name ICE. And he cherry-picked them, or us, to record his piece entitled Son of Chamber Symphony. And it was a really great experience. We went into Sear Sound here in New York, which is an amazing studio. And he conducted, rehearsed us, and we laid it down over 2 days, and it was a really great experience working with him.
Awesome. Wow. I'm jealous. That's cool. And you also work with, how do you say this, guys? This indie kind of, I don't know, demigod everyone talks about.
Sufjan Stevens. Yeah, that was also fun. There was a trombone section. There was lots of trombone on those records, and he brought us in to the studio, 3 of us at a time, and we recorded his parts, which were just so much fun to play. Really fun.
What tunes specifically? Can you name 1 or 2? I'll link to them.
Oh, gosh. Well, the albums are called The Age of Odds, ADZ, and then there's another EP called All Delighted People. And as for specific tunes, I don't have it right in front of me. But
I'll find it.
At least like 80% of them are filled with trombones. It was just a blast to record on those albums.
Did he arrange them himself?
He did, and he scored it out for us.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he's a legit writer.
Oh, he's the real deal, man. He's really good.
Cool. Yusef Lateef. I went pretty good friend of mine out in Western Massachusetts works with him a ton. Does all his electronic stuff. Matt Waugh. Were you just a session player on this one as well?
That was another kind of a classical chamber ensemble thing, and he wrote a piece for us. It was actually a live concert. And I didn't even know that he released it as an album. I just sort of found it online. So a nice surprise.
Were there electronics in it?
No electronics, just kind of a small chamber orchestra.
Cool, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, great. So let us know. Ping me when you have gigs to promote, and I'll pump them out through our network.
I will do that. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, it's good talking to you, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Take care.
Goodbye.
Let's listen to a track from Dave's last album. This is called 4 Against 5.